This is a box of Lego, and it holds exactly 1,063 individual parts. Trust me, I counted. When you're building something that's not an official set, it's gonna take you ages to find the parts you need. As an example, I put this 1x1 slope in there, and it took me 2 minutes to find it. If you need 100 parts, that would take almost 3 hours of just looking through bins. So over the years, I ended up with different storage systems that I use for different kinds of parts. Minifigure utensils, red 2x2 bricks, random stuff that doesn't have a home yet. And these were from when I started a Bricklink store, but I didn't receive a single order over a 6-month period. These storage systems are spread out all over the place. I don't have the time or the patience to spend hours looking for a piece when I just want to get to building. So today I'm going to solve that by creating one single spot in my studio to store all of my Lego. I want to replace this monstrosity of drawer units and other random stuff with a new system. We'll first need to take it down though. And no worries, we'll be putting all of this to use somewhere else. I wouldn't want to waste it. Now that we have this cleared out, it's time to come up with a system. But to do that, we need to get to the basics of sorting Lego first. There are multiple ways to do it. You can go by color, by category, by part type, or a combination of those. What method you go with is all based on personal preference. There are some people who sort everything by color, but I find that insane. It'll take you less time to look for something in comparison to unsorted Lego. But if you have a lot of red bricks like me, I wish you the best of luck finding the exact piece you need. Now, you could also go by category. This is honestly not bad. If you have a relatively small collection, it's probably the most space-efficient way. But the bigger your collection gets, the longer you'll need to look through everything. That's where sorting by part type comes in. You can keep splitting up your categories the more Lego you collect. So instead of all types of bricks going in one bin, you can put 1x bricks in one bin and 2x bricks in the other. And when you add more Lego to your collection, you can start separating the masonry bricks from the regular bricks, and the round bricks from the standard 2x bricks. I have quite a bit of Lego, but not an insane amount. So I'll initially go by category and see how much I can subdivide. Now we need to figure out what method of storage we want to use. A big problem I have right now is that I have all these different types of containers with their own pros and cons. There's things I like about some of them, and there are things I prefer over the other. I have a lot of these IKEA bins, but it's really not working for me. I spend hours looking for a tiny 1x1 piece, to later find out it's in another box of unsorted Lego. You would think these work great, but I need to go to my computer and look through a huge list of parts to find out what drawer I actually need. It's nice to get my daily step count in, but it drives me crazy. So what I'll usually do is just order everything I need on Bricklink, even though I probably already have the parts. I could definitely solve this by organizing it better, or by setting it up next to my computer, for example. But that's not going to work for me. See, I have a lot of these 2x2 red bricks, and if I want to have them next to the 1x2 ones, I run into this. The drawer just doesn't hold enough of what I need, and I'd have to store the overflow somewhere else. What is a nice feature though, is that I can take these drawers out and bring them to wherever I'm building, usually at this table. They're not cheap and also not a great use of my wall space since they're so shallow. I can only store my parts about 15 centimeters deep, and the drawers inside don't hold that much. I do have different drawers, but these are even worse. They're super flimsy, and I run into the same problems as with the other ones. I also have these art bin things. I like that I can take the dividers out to expand the space I need for a certain piece. That solves the limitation of the drawer system. However, I don't need to bring a whole case with me because I mostly build stuff at my studio. If I need 2 pieces from one drawer and 3 from another, I'd have to bring both of them, which is very impractical. Even though my studio is huge, the amount of horizontal space to put them on is not. Also, these dividers really hurt my hands if I try taking stuff out. So ideally, I'd have a system where I can expand the space as I grow my collection. And I want my parts to be easily accessible. I just want to open a drawer, grab what I need, and continue building. And that's where this Alex unit comes in. I actually got this idea while doing research into sorting my Lego. This is Tiago Catarino, a former designer at Lego. He worked on 16 sets, including various 3-in-1 sets, some poly bags, and the Lego Ideas ship in a bottle. Now he's running a YouTube channel where he does a lot of great videos, mostly reviewing sets. This is his setup, a bunch of Alex drawers stacked on top of each other. So this is an idea I plan to, borrow from him. For now, I will stick to 2 cabinets because they are quite pricey. But if you have an old cabinet laying around, I definitely recommend reusing it. Let's go down to IKEA for the drawers. Luckily, I'm only 10 minutes away from the nearest one. I know, such a luxury. But the Netherlands isn't that big, and we have 13 IKEAs in this country. Back at the studio, I can just go right into building them since I already cleared out the area. This is definitely saving me a lot of space, and I bet it'll hold most of the parts I have. Both of the units came with these wheels, but I left them off of one so I can stack them up and use my space more efficiently. To make sure they don't fall over, I used some double-sided tape to stick them together. No idea how this will hold up, but I guess we'll find out. Now that the cabinets are set up, we need some way of organizing all the Lego inside. These drawers aren't customizable enough, so I can't just use these in the Alex unit. And these dividers aren't the way to go either. I do have a 3D printer, so I could make custom inserts. I initially wanted to go with that, but because not everybody has this option, I won't. I want this to be a sorting system everybody can use and easily create for themselves. That's why I also picked these up at IKEA. They're practically the cheapest option I found, and they fit perfectly inside the Alex units. They are 5 centimeters tall, and there are multiple sizes available. 10 by 10, 10 by 20, and 15 by 20. When my collection is big enough to subdivide everything even further, I'll go for the 3D printed solution. But right now, these cheap containers will do fine. Looking at the cabinet, we can see the drawers don't come out all the way, and there's some lost space in the back. It's not ideal, but to actually use that space, I'm putting these longer ones in there, so the parts inside are still reachable. The different sizes make it super easy to change your layout however you want it. Right now I have a lot of red bricks, but who knows? Maybe Lego stops making them and they will get so scarce I need to resort to other colors. Can you imagine? A mini Ness in the colors it's actually supposed to be in, instead of making everything red? Yeah, me neither. Anyways, there's one last thing I want to add before I start using the new system. Right now, I'd have no idea what pieces are in these cabinets. I'm sure I'll get used to the layout over time, but I also know I'll end up changing stuff around. So I took some base plates and stuck them to the fronts. I used a simple measuring tool I made out of Lego to make sure everything lines up the same. With these, I can visually add the parts that are inside the drawers, on the outside. Now I immediately know which drawer to go to for a specific piece. Okay, everything is set up. Let's actually get some sorting done. I didn't really start with a plan because I wasn't sure how many parts I have and how fast the Alex units would actually fill up. So while sorting everything, I decided what parts should go together. How you end up doing it is completely up to you. What works for me might not work for someone else at all. I'm using different drawers for different types of pieces, but the more my collection grows, the more I'm going to change this around. If I have enough of one color, I'll sort both by color and by part type. If I have a lot of different colors but a small amount of each, I'll just add them together in the same bin. Having everything organized in a way that works for me doesn't just save me a lot of time. It actually encourages me to come up with my own designs, which is what Lego is all about. Sure, you can keep buying sets to build, and if that's what you enjoy, that's perfectly fine. But Lego is meant to be a source of creativity. The word Lego comes from the Danish words leg and god, which means play well, and that's exactly what I love doing, playing. Life is supposed to be fun, so find out what that means for you. For me, it's being able to pour my creativity into something. These neatly organized drawers make that a lot easier. In a way, it actually did change my life, because now I get to play more. If you want to get creative too, this might be a good video for you. I'll tell you how you can build a whole city out of Lego with limited space and budget.